Alright, part 2 of chapter 1. We're going to head to the other battleground here first. We're skipping ahead to the 5th of the 10 battles. You can see that I'm poisoned. Both characters are poisoned, so we're getting into those infamous status ailments that I mentioned in the introductory video. I showed this battle because you're going to see something weird that has to do with the life spell in this game. Normally, a life spell in a Final Fantasy just resurrects, but apparently, if the person's already alive, it'll bring them to full hit points and cure status ailments. It's like an elixir, a cure-all in this Final Fantasy. It's extremely weird, and nowhere in the game does it tell you that. It's almost like a secret code or some sort of a hidden trick or something like that. It's too weird for words to me, but anyways, it's a lifesaver, and you'll see that a little bit later on in this clip, but literally a lifesaver. It's kind of a pun. But anyways, this is the last battle of this battleground, and that's just to show you what you get at this one here that's to the left of that temple. We're going to finish off here. Defeated the enemy, get the good stuff, clear them all. That was a charm bracelet. Hit the button too quick there. It's an accessory. It's a piece of armor. It adds, I think, a point of defense. So that's what you get from there. So at this point, we're going to head down to the level forest again. I'm going to show you something. Earlier in the first part of the chapter, I mentioned how cure potions you get like a gazillion in the game. The same goes for all the items in this game. You'll just get a million of them. Like if you just look here, heal potions, okay, and so I can cure my poison. But the thing is when you leave and come back, they're there again, and it's right there at the entrance. So let me just show you. I'm going to leave, and I'm going to come back in, and they'll be there again. So you can just collect as many as you want. Really, there's no need to ever buy them when you get to a store. And I thought this was weird. Look at this. Now, what moron, after having an axe, is going to go down and fight that monster instead of just going around? I mean, it's not even a puzzle, really. You'll notice I'm jumping a lot like that. The reason is if you hold the B button, he continues to propel himself, and that's just easier than holding the D-pad to me sometimes. Anyways, on to the Bone Dungeon. Moving in. Now immediately you can jump on this sand and it'll transport you to the door. But I kind of discourage this. Usually you want to go and fight your way around, and there's a couple of reasons for this. First of all, you're going to get some experience. You'll notice I'm still 2 levels behind Tristam, and we're going to lose Tristam at the end of this, so I want to be at level 7 by the time I get to the boss. So we're getting experience. But second of all, Tristam will leave before you leave this place, and you don't know this at first, but it's nice to go ahead and clear these guys out because you're going to be by yourself on the way out. And that gets into another discussion about experience. It's weird. Every Final Fantasy, the more people you have in your party, you have to split the experience that many ways. Not so in this game. Your partner actually never gains any experience. You get the full experience depending whether or not you have a partner or not. So I mean, just go ahead and do all the battling while you got a partner, right? Clean path for the way out, saves time. So we jumped across the turtle shells. Those bones will come back to. I'll explain that in a minute. We're going to walk through the sewage here, coming down. And we're going to go through one of these bone tunnels. These things are really weird, and you do some weird things with them in this dungeon as far as puzzles are concerned. But we're going to go north here, and Tristam's going to talk to us. Well, the door's sealed shut. What are we going to do? Okay, we're going to watch him. And that was very thrilling explosion, wasn't it? So he's going to sell you bombs. Your partner is going to sell you bombs. And this is just another example of teammates holding back stuff from you. What is this theme? And it's going to be out through the whole game. It's like, oh, by the way, here's a weapon you might need. It's like, why couldn't you have given this to me when we first started? I could have used it somewhere, you know? And he charges you like nothing, like pennies for the bombs. 30 GP for 50 bombs. One battle gets you like 200 gold in this game. I mean, it's almost laughable they even charge you for the bombs. But it's weird because money really is no object in this game. like I mentioned with the cure potions, heal potions, you never have to buy any potions. You find or are given all the weapons and spells. There's only like maybe 6 or 7 things in the entire game that you have to buy, and you don't even have to. It's just you can't find them, so you're forced to buy them. I mean, it's why even have money with a system like that? It just kind of blows the mind. But let me show you what the bombs look like in battle here. We'll pick the skeleton guy over here. You'll notice I selected all the skeletons when I selected the bombs. That's because you hit everyone on the screen with the bomb, so it's nice. Doesn't do as much damage as some of your other weapons, but it hits everyone, so that's a nice strategy that could come into play. You see I switched over to the axe. That's another cool thing, is you can switch your weapons in battle with the L and R buttons. You can tailor your strategy to that as well. But you'll notice there are a lot of enemies in this room. Be a nice time to talk about how the enemies work in this game. It's kind of interesting. Anyone ever played Grandia or some of the Tales games, you actually see a representation of the monster on the screen. It can be nice because you can avoid needlessly getting into battles when you don't need to, like if you're going back to an old place. But the problem with this game is that it's intended for people who have never played an RPG. They even stated that in the Wikipedia article I referenced in the introductory video. People who have never played an RPG and don't have a concept of leveling up are going to avoid as many battles as they possibly can, which means that they're going to be under-leveled by the time that they get to the end of the dungeon. You can see the problem that comes into that, right? So that probably wasn't good forethought on their part. Gain some explosives. Another example of the fact that you may buy bombs once during the game, but you'll find so many bombs you'll stay stocked. And so here's another example of blowing up this tunnel here. So you do some weird stuff with these tunnels. What are these? What was this? Was it a snake or, confused? Here you'll notice the screen's black for about 5 seconds. This is a good time to explain what I'm doing with the technical difficulties. I mentioned that I've been having some difficulties. I actually own the games I'm going to review on here, but I use an emulator so that I can capture it on the screen. And evidently there's an add-on that I use on the particular emulator that I'm doing that is having some weird side effects, and evidently that was one of them. It didn't, it just kind of went black there for a second. And I just walked up. If anyone's following this for a walkthrough purpose and they wonder how I teleported there, I just walked up. So no biggie. Seeds. Okay, this is probably the most important item you'll get in the game. They cure all your magic. If you looked at Tristam down there, he went back up to 7 white spells. It's impossible to just get in a position where you're just hurting. Like if you're deep in a dungeon, you'll have so many items, you'll just never be in a position where you can't not get away, So we're gonna see a chest, and we're gonna get the most dangerous thing in the game, Quake, and I'm gonna show you why this is a mixed blessing right here. Now, first of all, it's a great spell. It's your first black magic spell, does a lot of damage. But as I mentioned in my introductory video, there's a problem with status effects. See, I just got confused there. Now, I'm going to give you one guess as to what's going to happen on the next turn with Benjamin. And I'm not making this up. He will do this every turn until his confusion is cured. That right there. He could kill, potentially, the entire party in 2 turns. Or 1 turn later when he gets stronger. That is just, it's ridiculous. It's a headache. It doesn't need to be here. I don't know if it was a mistake in programming or something just was overlooked, but the fact that he will use Quake consistently when confused on the whole party just is an unnecessary headache. It really is. I really thought I'd have enough time to get all this in one clip, but we're going to have to split this.